Okay, so hi everyone, and welcome back to another episode of this channel called Patrick the Runner. We're here today in Athlone, nearly forgot the name of the town there, but I'm running my 1500 meter race today. I actually took the decision to stay down the night before because I thought it would help my preparation, and it's a 3 hour journey from the house, so just didn't really fancy doing that on the day of the race and then having to get out of the car and do a lot of stretching and stuff. Thought it might be better to do the journey the night before, which we did. We had a bit of a flat tire. Well, not a bit of a flat tire. We had a flat tire on the way, so we got there in the end. But hopefully, it's not a sign of things to come in the race because I could do without any injuries or anything. So I actually feel nervous even talking now, and I think that's just because my heart's racing for the race. It's over 3 hours away, but I am feeling like a lot of adrenaline. I am feeling pretty nervous, but also pretty energetic. I've been bouncing around the room there this morning, doing my stretches and just getting myself loosened up and ready to go for this race, and I am really looking forward to it. And that's just what I wanted to do this week. I wanted just to give you guys an idea of how I'm feeling before the race, and I'm probably talking faster than usual, and that's just a sign of my nerves, and that's fine. What I need to make sure just is that I use these nerves well and use it as adrenaline, and when the gun goes bang, I'm just out, not out of the blocks but off the line, and get into a quick pace from the start, but obviously not too quick in that I'm going to burn out. So that's really the hope here today. I'm really, really looking forward to it. I just need to tell myself again, like last week, it's almost just, there's two things. It's like the first one is like, don't bottle it and don't mess up the race. But the second really is, I'm really looking forward to run a good race, and I just need to make sure that I attack it, that all the training I've been doing comes to fruition today, and I need to make sure that I am focused and that I'm prepared before the race, and that I just have the right mindset, and that as soon as the gun goes, I'm switched on, and then it's about 3 minutes 50 seconds of pain, and then I finish and hopefully run a big PB. So hopefully you will all see me get a PB. Either way, I'm going to give it everything I can, and I am ready to go. So let's see how I get on. Okay, everyone, so here's the start of the 1500 meter race, or the immediate moments before the start, I should say. In case you aren't aware, the 1500 meter indoor event is over 7.5 laps because the indoor track is, of course, 200 meters. So on an outdoor track, it's only 3 3/4 laps because the outdoor track has a 400 meter loop. So that's what I was getting myself ready for. 7.5 laps from here. And at this point, I'm not sure if you can see me there. I'm in the red and yellow as I was last week, but I was just thinking about trying to get a good start so that I was in a good position and didn't have to do too much work to get round people. That's what was in my head at that moment. And I just wanted to get out quick here. So when the gun goes, I do that. You can see there I'm in third place in the second lane, and at this moment I'm thinking, right, let's try to tuck in so that you're not running further than you need to be. I then go through 100 meters here in about 14 seconds, which is a pretty quick start, quicker than I would have wanted. You can see here I've probably tried to slow myself down a wee bit, but at this stage I'm probably still quite excited and just trying to establish myself in the race. So you can see I go through 200 there in about 30 seconds, sorry, in about 29 seconds, which again was too quick. But at this stage here, I'm probably trying to slow myself down a wee bit and compose myself, but I'm actually feeling the effects of the quick start already. I go through 300 there in 45. So I'm aware that that's quite quick. Someone passes me there. Another person is about to pass me here, and I think I'm in two minds as to whether I should let them pass me or try to fend them off because I didn't want to lose too many positions. And I think what I am feeling here is a lot of lactic acid already, even at this early stage, and I'm probably struggling to maintain that position. We go through 500 there in about 1:16, so again, it's all pretty quick. And at this point in time, I am feeling quite a lot of pain. I think I make a bit of a surge here, which was a mistake because it's not what I needed at that point. I had already started too quick, and I think at that time I was trying to tell myself, don't give up too many positions, but that actually was a bit of a surge in a race that probably exhausted me, and I really didn't need that at that point. But I think I was really just trying to tell myself, right, dig in, you need to get a good result here. And again, I'm just continuing to fight as much as I can, but to be honest, at this point in time, I'm already thinking that the race is feeling tougher than it should feel, even though I was prepared for that. I go through 800 in about 2:02 to 2:03, so I was at that stage technically on target, but I really wasn't feeling good, and I was thinking that it was going to be quite a long race ahead, or long last 700 meters. And here I can visibly see myself slowing down and really just struggling to stay with the pace. Again, I think I see this guy and think that I have to go by him there because I really want to make sure that I'm digging in, but I probably didn't need to make that move at that point. I probably just could have tried to steady myself and say, right, just maintain the pace that you've got here and you can surge at the end of the race. That's what I should have done. But I'm really fighting here, to be honest. I mean, like, I am pushing myself to my limits. I go through there 2:52, so that's 2:52 for the 1100 meter mark, and yeah, I really was struggling here at this point. Then I go through 1200 here, I think in about 3:08. So at this point there's 300 meters to go, and I really am struggling to hold on to the pace that I've got. Usually I have a good finish kick and I can start pushing things on at this point, but not when you've got so much lactic due to the fast start. So there's 200 meters to go here. I'm really aware of that. At this time, I went through there in about 3:25. I was telling myself, right, you just need to run 30 seconds and you run 3:55. But I think I was so exhausted. I really am digging in here for dear life. It probably doesn't look like that because I'm slowing down, but I was just overcome with exhaustion and I was really fighting to try to stay on. But I had at this stage just gone out too hard and was trying to push as much as I could. And here I'm again really digging in, and then I dip over the line and I ended up running 3:58. Okay, everyone, so as you can see there, the race didn't quite go to plan. I think looking back, it is a really disappointing result, and it was 9 seconds slower than I was hoping to run because, of course, I was hoping to run 3:49. But I think what that race tells me is that firstly, I probably wasn't fit enough to actually run under 3:50, even if I had done things differently. But secondly, that in future, for the next 1500 meter race, at least, I do need to take a more conservative approach to the start of the race. And so what I'm saying is that I think my biggest mistake on the day was going out too hard. And I know that's something that was in my mind beforehand, and I was slightly worried about that, but I was trying to balance that off against the fear that I got boxed in and basically just didn't settle into the race well. So I was worried that I would start too slow, but obviously that just made me go a wee bit too quick at the start. And my goal was to run 3:50, and to do that you need to run 61 second 400s. That's usually how I break these things down, so that's about 30.5 200 meter laps, because of course the indoor track's a 200 meter lap. And in the first 200 I think I went through in 29, so that's too quick. That's 58 second 400 pace, which would get you about 3:37 for the 1500. So I'm obviously not at that level yet. If I were, I would probably be looking at an Olympic qualifying time or close to that. So that's not where I am yet, and that was too quick of a start. So as I said, the first 200 was 29 seconds. Then I went through 400 in about 60 or 61. And again, that was off the back of that first 200. So that means that the next 200 after that initial 29 second was a 31 or a 32. So I was already starting to feel the effects of that very quick start. And then after that, I think I ran another 62 second 400 to take me through 800 in roughly about 2:02 to 2:03. And then the next 400 after that was in about 66. So I was really struggling at that point. And after that, I think I had got through 1200 in around 3:08. And that means that I did the last 300 in about 50 seconds. So again, I was really struggling to hang on and was just fighting for dear life to get to the end of the line. So what I'm saying is that that wasn't the correct way for me to approach that race, but it is easier said than done. And in hindsight, I know I went off too quickly, but at the time I was just eager to get going. I wanted to establish myself in the race and I wanted to get into a good position. But this is all a learning curve for me, and I've started this channel as I'm relatively new to running again. I do have a background of doing it in my childhood, but really it's been over 10 years since I have raced competitively, with the exception of the last 15 months when I've started up running again. So I learn all these things. I have to learn them quickly. I still am only 26 years old, so I have got plenty of time, but I do want to start making advancements, and I think that I am capable of running about 352 or at least under 355, but I just didn't show that on the day, and that's because I went off too quickly. So instead of running a 60-second first lap, I think I would have benefited a lot more from a 63-second lap or even a high 62. So that's what I'm going to try to aim for the next time I run a race like that. And I think I am going to do a mile race on the 7th of February in Dublin, and the goal there is to run about 4:14. So my aim is to run under 4:15 for the mile, and that's going to be a test to see my fitness, but also to see, can I approach the race slightly more conservatively, and can I go out and run 63-second laps and try to stay disciplined, but also try to stay focused and not go out too hard. So that'll be a challenge for me. But to wrap this up, I am disappointed with the race result, but also I know my fitness is in a really good place, and I'm happy with the progress that I have made. I had a great 800 meter race last weekend, and one bad race doesn't change the progress I'm making. I often follow, I've read his book, but I listen to a lot of these videos that are on YouTube, or a lot of videos that are on YouTube of him talking, and I'm referring to a famous coach called Jack Daniels, and Jack Daniels will often say that there's no such thing as a fluke of a good race. You can have a bad race, and it can be a combination of bad luck or poor tactics, and I would say that it was the latter for me on Sunday. But what I'm saying is that my fitness is in the right place in order to run fast times and to compete at a high level, and I think I am getting better, and that was showing through the 800 meters because that was a big PB, but I just didn't transfer that across into the 1500, and that was to do with how hard I went at the start. So effectively what I'm saying is that it's onwards and upwards for me. I think I'm only getting better. I'm getting better with race tactics, and I hope, again, the idea here is that you all see the journey and see the progress. I'm going to make some mistakes initially, but I'm going to keep getting better. The improvements have been pretty massive for me over the last year or so, so I'm hoping to continue on that trajectory. But I think I do need to perhaps be a wee bit more patient with my progress and tell myself that, right, it's okay if you run a 352 or 352 1500 next time out. That would be a 5 or 6 second PB, which would be pretty massive over 1500 meters. So that's what I need to focus on, and then thereafter I can then talk about running under 350. And again, I think what it also tells me is that for the national championships coming up in February, around the 17th of February or something like that, I think I'm going to focus on the 800 meters, because I think that probably best suits my natural abilities and where my fitness is at the minute. So I'm really excited about that. Okay, so the plan over the next few weeks is to keep the training up and to, yes, keep a focus on the middle distance events, because that is my primary aim this season, and particularly next month for the nationals. But I'm also going to be focusing on my general fitness and working on my endurance, say for the 5 and 10k events, because I think that type of fitness and improving that has really helped me in the middle distance events. So I'm going to be doing more longer tempo runs, and I'm going to be doing longer intervals as well, but I am going to be mixing that in with speed to ensure that I'm also moving that aspect of my fitness forward. But for the next few videos, I think I'm going to be mixing that up a bit. So I do now have lab testing booked for Saturday the 27th of February, so there will be a video coming on that very soon, and I'm going there to try and get an accurate idea of what my lactate threshold is, so that I can use that for my training. And I'm going to be explaining in that video how I'm going to use those bits of data to inform my training and how you can use that to help your training. I'm also thinking of doing a few videos that are slightly different than I've been doing over the last few weeks. So one thing I'm going to be doing is maybe how you can specifically do things to help your 5k and 10k times, because I know those are distances that are very popular amongst people, and I do really think that there are a few changes that most people can make, which would help them take their times down in those distances. So that is one of my aims. Also, I am going to be doing a video soon on what I eat in a day, and perhaps that can be informative for some people. But please do feel free to let me know if there are any specific videos that you would like for yourself and what you think would be beneficial for other people. Just let me know in the comments below and I will consider doing those. So that's that for this week. I will be back and I will see you all next week with a new video, and I hope you're keeping your training up. I'm definitely going to be keeping my training up. I have learned from the races at the weekend, and hopefully that can also help you all to see how you can improve your own racing strategies, because sometimes that is a common mistake, that you just do go out too hard, and once you do that, it's very hard to recover in a race, particularly in a race of such a short distance like I had on Sunday. So hopefully that video helped, at least anyway. Hopefully you all can see the progress that I'm making, and in my next race it'll make it look all the more impressive when I actually get close to running under that 350 barrier or get close to it. So I hope you all enjoyed the video and have a great week.